Hello and welcome. I'm number 36 and today we're building a tire shaver. So make sure you stick around because we're gonna have some fun out in the shop. I destroyed a brand new tire on the track the other day. My brother and I were door to door when we rubbed a little harder than normal. I mean, like our body panels crashed into each other. And that event pushed me down a new, confusing path. I now wanted a tire shaver. Why am I using an angle gauge for this? Where's my 1, 2, 3 block? Some of my older, wiser viewers might remember a time before the radial tire. Before the 60s, when tire shaving was ubiquitous with a new set of tires. Back in the day, tire manufacturing was not exactly precise, so new tires actually came with extra tread. The tire would be installed onto the rim and then shaved down, removing the lumps and bumps, truing up the tire. Imagine the amount of work that went into selling a set of tires back then. It takes like 20 minutes to shave one of these. Tire shops today must be killing it, getting to skip all that hard work. Today, tire shaving is a forgotten art. Serious drivers with way too much cash will shave 80% of the tread off of a new set of tires for an extra performance gain. A shaved tire is lighter, giving the suspension less unsprung weight. Also, there's a gain in grip. The stickiest a tire will ever be is just before it dies. To burn off all that rubber naturally on the track requires heat cycles. Too many heat cycles can essentially cook the stickiness right out of the tire. Anyways, like most of my projects, their origin comes from looking online at tools already made to do the job, and then having all my dreams smashed by the price tag. But then, inspiration smacks me in the face. I found a video that I loved. It was the most sketchy homemade tool I've seen in a while. I mean, this guy just made my day. So I want to try to capture some of this magic by making my own version. It will have all the danger, but maybe I can add lightweight and portability. So we are building this shaver out of aluminum. Maybe I can load it into the back of the truck by myself, unlike this expensive piece of crap. I'm not super interested at the moment to go full racer and shave the tires down to the minimal amount of rubber for a race. Instead, I want the tire shaver for the annoying issues, like fixing flat spots in between races. Flat spotted tires can be incredibly distracting to me, and I'm more likely to make a huge mistake. Man, I love rationalizing the need for a random new tool. Hey honey! Hey, this thing's gonna save my life! It's worth every penny and all of my free time! What? I couldn't hear what you were saying. With the tool set up out of the way, it's time to cut some actual parts. The frame for this is going to be very simple, so we don't need to spend too much time here. But basically, we're going to build a box from this 1.5 inch aluminum square tube. A quick note from the editor. I feel like an imposter making this video. I'm not a professional at anything I do, and I came to this realization years back when I opened a fortune cookie. It said if you spread your energy into multiple subjects, you will never master one. And as it stands, my energy goes into my wife, kids, welding, machining, fabrication, motor building, CNC, 3D printing, racing, restoration, cabinetry, plumbing, electrical, drumming, drawing, and now cameras and video editing. Each one of those subjects takes a long time to master, and because I can't pick one, I'll never master anything. I say this because just look at this. Notice how I picked up that rag of denatured alcohol with my gloved hand. Yeah, I caught my hand on fire. I don't weld every day like I used to, so fire and electrocution is common for me right now. I learned by surviving, and I think someone can relate to that. Or maybe not. Just don't take what I do too seriously and think I'm teaching bad habits or something.
Okay, we got the bulk of the frame done. The hardest thing about this was minimizing the amount of warp you get from the welding. The next thing I want to do is mount the tire, which means we're going to need some adjustable brackets. We're going to use this 3 inch by 1/2 inch aluminum flat bar. We need to take it over to the CNC and have some sexy time with it. Mill some aluminum. I'm going to try to get some sexy camera shots though. Let's do this.
Hold on a minute. Isn't there supposed to be an A on this?
What A? A?
It's supposed to say USA.
Or Canadian?
Oh my god. Go fix the G-code. We gotta fix this.
Ah, Canadians, you gotta put the A in the A.
Man, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I bought the old CNC machine from a man named Travis Crooks. He was the head of the aerospace machining department at the University of Texas. He's getting to his older age, and he suffered a stroke, and he was scared he was going to fall into one of his machines and hurt himself. But Travis did do some pretty cool things in his years. He was famous for building these super accurate gravity meters. They use them on Earth to find oil and natural gas, I believe. But 2 of his meters were sent into space. One of them is on the moon, and the other one is on Mars. It's crazy owning a machine that has that kind of history. Travis, thank you so much for everything you did. Having CNC in my shop is a life changer. But anyways, these go on top of the frame. It's going to give us the ability to adjust the axle closer and further away from the cutter, just in case I have to cut different tire sizes. The way I designed it, you'll be able to cut everything from road racing tires all the way down to go-kart tires. This is a hub off of my NA Miata. I want all the load from the cutting and the spinning to be on this bearing and not rotating the axle. This 2-inch aluminum round bar is what we're going to use to make the axle. And we're going to have to figure out a way to encapsulate this somewhere in the middle, and this hub needs to remain concentric to the axle. This shouldn't be too difficult, but I'm pretty sure 2 inches does not fit inside the headstock of my lathe. So that's going to make it real interesting. We're going to have to be doing all the machining way out away from the chuck. But let's go ahead and throw it in the lathe and see what we can do.
Okay.
I just made a huge mistake. You know that old adage your grandpa would teach you to measure 20 times and cut very slowly and take little tiny bits off at a time? For whatever reason in my mind, I thought these channels were 3/4 inch, not 1 inch. The part's not exactly ruined. I was trying to leave some extra length on the end of this so that this can get knocked around and this would still fit tight in the channel, assuming I cut it correctly. So I'm gonna have to cut the end off of this and start all over again, which leaves me absolutely no wiggle room to mess this up. It's gonna be shifted over to the right just a hair. Well, it's back to the mill.
Oh yeah. Remaking those sexy parts. Ah, baby. Ooh, fits just right. Bingo, baby.
I hope y'all can't hear that cricket. He's over there making noises and I've been looking for him for 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and mock everything up and make sure we're looking good on dimensions, but I'm getting pretty excited. This is cool. Let's put it together. Where the heck are you, cricket? You're driving me nuts. You're completely ruining my audio. So we did end up with the tire a little bit over to the left because of my bonehead mistake, but it's not that big of a deal. So over here is where the cutting tool is going to be, and I had to rack my brain forever to figure out how I was going to articulate the tool around to cut the tire. And it finally dawned on me to buy a little mini milling table. This guy over here. Now we need to adapt this to the frame, and I kind of want it at a little bit of an angle so the tire doesn't rub against the back of this milling table. Let's get to it. Ready, set, go. I have decided to go ahead and weld these brackets down to the frame, and that's going to be a little tricky because the brackets are 1/2 inch and the frame is 1/8 inch. That means I stand a good chance of blowing a hole right through this 1/8 inch if I'm not careful. I'm going to be concentrating most of my heat on the brackets, but letting some of it fall down onto the frame. I'm going to bring the camera in extra close so you can get a good look at what's going on. I have everything clamped down into place, so there's nothing left to do but give it my best shot. Let's see what happens. Gonna let things warm up. I have the welder set to 220 amps. That might not be enough, probably not enough. Oh God. Oh no. Wide open. Uh-oh. Farts. Okay, off to the store. There's only one more piece we need to make for this machine, and it's an adapter plate for the cutter. I picked up this old plate joiner, and I was thinking about using this to try to cut tires with. The idea behind having the mill table is I can adapt several different tools to it and try out different things. It might look funny to you because I've already taken off all the unnecessary bits that we don't need. Cutting this out is going to be real simple. But instead of taking you through this lengthy process of cutting it out in the mill, we're going to do it a special way, with firecrackers. Let's get this out of the way. This must be the shortest black cat fuse I've seen in a long time, but I used to be really good at this as a kid. So kids, don't try what I do. Just going to step back a hair. Oh, I missed. This is my only other black cat, and it is a very, very short fuse. Oh! That worked beautifully. Nice, let's put it together.
Just like that, the tire shaver is done. The only thing left to do now is take it out to the track and see what we got.
And here we are, the tire shaver is done. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed getting to break out almost every tool I owned to make this thing. It was worth all the time. But today, it's time to try it out.
I'm really annoyed to be doing this, but I came to a realization while shooting this last part. Besides the fact we're 20 minutes into this video and I recorded almost a terabyte of footage, I need to split this video into 2 parts. And I also need to wipe my computer because this 4K business is killing it. But more importantly, I don't want to gloss over this last part because I discovered something while shaving this tire that is very important. The cutter works fantastically, but I destroyed this tire. I didn't even realize it until later that day. And the reason why it might make you scratch your head and possibly rock your world, like it did mine. I need to order yet another tire so I can properly explain all the facets behind tire shaving. There's just so much you need to know before you jump into this one. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next video. You really need to see it. This contact patch is your connection to the road and where all your speed gains are hiding. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you keep tuning in. And smash that like button so YouTube will take notice of number 36. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching. Man, getting your eggs all poopy, huh? Too many eggs. Can't have this many eggs.